Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Shot Clock. I am Dan Bickley. This guy does not need any introduction, but if you don't recognize him, he's a World Series hero. Luis Gonzalez rocketed a double off the wall to win the World Series, or something like that, right?
It was a rocket off the wall.
Good to see you, Gonzo. All right, let's talk Diamondbacks. We're coming off a year where the team seemed to really capture the hearts of the Valley. Great year, won a one-game playoff. How do they keep that momentum going this year?
Well, I think the key, once again, is pitching. That's what helped us win last year throughout the season. And, you know, Goldie was great. J.D. Martinez was a huge pickup for us. So now the question mark is going to be who's going to be that stable guy in the middle of the order to help Goldie there. But, you know, if our pitching can stabilize and do what they did last year, Robbie Ray, another big year, Corbin, guys like that, we're going to be okay.
Now, Gonzo's a big Arizona Cardinals fan, and you know how hard it is in their division in the NFC West. The Diamondbacks have something pretty similar. The National League West, you know the Dodgers are going to be a monster again with all that payroll and all those young stars. Giants go out and get Andrew McCutchen and Evan Longoria. You know they're poised for a bounce-back year. How hard is it going to be to keep pace in this division?
Well, it's always difficult in the National League West, and to me, it's always been a pitching-dominant league. For us, we've kind of maintained, we've got our core of guys that have been around, and I think they've established themselves in this league and are good, solid core professional players, so they know how to react to the different changes that go around the league. Of course, like you said, the Giants and the Dodgers are always going to be there, but you know, I look out for the Rockies too. These guys went out and solidified their bullpen. They got you know, it's always a weird ballpark to play in, but they're going to be right there too. So I think for us, the key for us is to get out of the gate strong.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, J.D. Martinez obviously had a huge year last year. I'll bet you can kind of relate to that because in 2001, you had the kind of year where everything you hit seemed to fly out of the park. From the All-Star game all throughout the year. Same with J.D. last year. Did you guys ever talk about that? Because I'm sure what you guys experienced isn't that dissimilar.
Yeah, when he got here, you know, I had talked to J.D. a little bit. I said, you're going to love hitting in this ballpark, especially the center part of the field. And he was a great hitter to right center field, and it showed here at Chase Field. But, you know, for him, it's a great hitting backdrop for a lot of the players that come in here, and he just had confidence. And it's a great clubhouse. I mean, we got great guys in there. They welcomed him in from day one, and when you have that kind of warm welcome when you're coming into a new team, you feel pretty good about it, and he made an impact from day one when he got here.
Now, one of the things, J.D. Martinez, as of this minute, still has not signed with anybody, and I know that Diamondbacks fans are maybe crossing their fingers that something might break in their favor, and maybe it will. Here's my question for you. Last year, we had a lot of pitchers say, look, these guys are great hitters. This launch theory where they're uppercutting to get the ball airborne seems to be working, but a lot of people thought the ball was juiced, that it was either wrapped harder, wound tighter, whatever. Is there any, do you have any feelings about whether or not what we saw last year in terms of record amounts of home runs is actually going to be sustained this coming year?
I mean, guys are bigger and stronger now. I mean, when you go back, I look at the generation before me, the power hitters were Glenn Davis, George Foster, and those guys, and then the next group came through, and now you're looking at these guys, and you know, I'm 6'2", and I feel like a small guy walking around a lot of these guys that are out there now. I mean, technology, these guys are lifting weights 24/7, their nutrition, everything, and then it could have been the baseballs last year. I mean, there was balls flying out at record pace, and I still believe in 2001 and 2 it was the same way. I think the baseballs were the same. There were a lot of home runs being generated, and I know everybody talks about the steroid era, but I still think it had a lot to do with the baseballs.
Big deal for the Diamondbacks, obviously. When they made the playoffs in 07 and 2011, they failed the next year to get back there. So sustaining this momentum is very important. You guys were able to do that in 2002 after winning the World Series. Any realistic shot at repeating ended when you got injured before the playoffs. What have you learned, and what does this team need to understand to keep one good year feeding into another good year?
Well, I think they got a great leader. Torey Lovullo is incredible, and he's got a great coaching staff around him, and they instill a lot of confidence and trust in a lot of these players. You got a veteran guy like Goldie that's been there for a long time. So I think these guys know the task at hand. They got a little small taste of it last year, going to the wild card and seeing what that was like, and then you know, going to the playoffs and not doing so well. So that left a bad taste in their mouth, and I think these guys are hungry and anxious and eager to try to get back to that point and to try to win it this time.
All right, finally, you know, in other major sports like the NFL, the NBA, even the NHL, players hate coming to training camp. They hate the preseason and everything that leads into the regular season. Major League Baseball seems to be the one different sport where when players show up, it's this big celebration that America's pastime is starting again. What was it like for you every year when you knew you were on the doorstep of a new season?
I loved it. I loved it. A lot of anticipation and eagerness, and you know, the hope that this is going to be your year, not just individually, but as a team, that you could be that one team. Everybody starts fresh. You know, guys have worked hard. They know what they need to work on. They worked hard in the offseason to get there, and hope that they could stay healthy in spring training and take it into the regular season.
Yeah, nothing like baseball season. It's almost here. He is Luis Gonzalez. I'm Dan Bickley. We'll see you in the next edition of The Shot Clock.